record before we get going. All right, so I am Brenda Miller, and I am the local extension educator here in Todd County. And we have a team of some great people on today. We have Colleen Carlson. She's the extension educator in Carver and Scott counties. Troy Selzer is the extension educator up in St. Louis County, and he'll be talking later today. Travis Hoffman is our sheep specialist, and he is on a shared appointment with NDSU and the University of Minnesota. And Wayne Martin is our small farms specialist located on the St. Paul campus. We have Laura Kieser and Noah Van Beck on with us right now, and Noah's going to be starting, and Phil Berg will be joining us later. But with that, we are going to get going. If you have questions at any time, please drop them in the chat box and we will get them answered. And with that, Noah is going to share with us his farm there. But Noah and Sarah Van Beck, they live by Freeport, Minnesota, which is located in Stearns County. They currently have about 600 nannies, both Boer and Spanish goats, and they've been raising goats for over 10 years now. They sell breeding stock as well as sending roughly 350 to 400 animals to slaughter every year. They built a new barn for their goats about 3 years ago. And so Noah is live in his barn right now, and he's going to give us a quick overview of his farm, how they started, some lessons they learned along the way. He's going to do a little tour and then tell us what some plans are for the future. So take it away, Noah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My barn is roughly 50 by 224. I have a 6-foot alley that goes the whole length that I drive a feed cart up and down to feed. The first 3 pens here are Spanish does that I bought from Texas area last spring. Some came pregnant, and as you can see, we are starting to drop quite a few kids. I think there's about 40 kids of them last night in here. I really like the Spanish. They are by far better mothers than any boar that can probably ever be, in my opinion. They just are much hardier. For my situation, it works much better. My one concern about them is maybe their rate of gain, which I will do some playing around with different genetics, maybe Savannah Boar cross, see once what happens. But they are better feet, better mothers, better bags, just better everything. They're constantly talking. I don't know if you can hear it or not. They're always talking to each other with the mothers and the babies. So that's these first 3 pens. As we get down, you can probably see I have them turned off right now for ventilation, but I have 2 fans running down the whole length of the barn for ventilation. I would have them on this morning, but it is really loud in here, so I was scared you couldn't hear me. And then I have fans along the north side. If you can see, like there's one and one. So they're always, I have different ones running for different times. I had a ventilation specialist come out here and figure it out. Then I have 7 doors to the north. You can see they're partially closed now. I just try to stop for draft for the babies. And then once it gets colder here in the next couple weeks, then I will close them. And then the 2 fans will run nonstop. And then I have fans running, exhaust fans. I have 3 cupola fans. You can't really see them. They're up in the attic sucking out the moist air in the wintertime and the hot air in the summertime. And then I'll have 1 fan running, a 5-footer running nonstop. This here pen right here, pen number 4, is overcrowded, but it is all my billies and breeding, the ones that are not bred. I ultrasounded in September, so I pull out my billies July 1st, roughly. And then I ultrasound in September. Whatever is not pregnant, 40 of them got orange tags, and then like 51, I think, got blue tags. So they are getting bred right now. The orange tags are due in mid-February, and the blue tags are due middle to the end of April. I don't know. So like last February, I ultrasounded everything to see what we had bred. So all of these here kidded at the end of April. And then I ultrasounded in September, and 70% were pregnant again for fall. So I try to do is 1 year they kid in spring, and then they kid that fall. And then I breed them back like in January. And then they will breed or be kid in June roughly. And then I'll breed them back in November. They'll kid in, I'll do my math, April, and then kid again in the fall. So my goal is 3 times every 2 years. That makes sense. Right here, these are all the ones that have kidded or have to kid. I think that one's in labor right now. She's pushing, but there's about 100 kids throughout this pen right now that are born already. And then the rest will kid between now and I think the first week of December. As you can see, I have a variety of different genetics. I really like the Spanish again, but yeah, that is what it is. I feed a TMR ration. I work very closely with Ecker Feed and Travis in the Munich and Big Game. I think the world of them. They really help me a lot. So I feed a meadow hay with silage that is processed. To me, if you don't process the silage, I would not feed it because you're going to throw almost all the cobs away and they won't digest it or even eat them. And then the corn, they go through and try to find all the corn, and the aggressive eaters get the corn. And then the ones that need it don't get it. So processing is key, in my opinion. I have learned a lot over the years. Coxy is a huge issue for confinement, in my opinion. I have, I'll show you on the outside later on, I have a pump house, well house type thing where I can put in a medicator, like a hog medicator or turkeys that I use, and I put in medication. So it's an easy way for me to, if I notice Coxy's start to become a problem, I can treat all the animals in a couple days. No big deal. Yeah. If anybody has questions, please ask, because I'm going to run out of information to talk about. Let's see. Anybody have any questions so far? Can you see everything?
Yep, we can. Noah, we have a couple questions on your
Okay.
your ventilation system.
Yes.
So one was, can you share who came to analyze your barn? Who helped you with your ventilation system?
Steve at Freeport Veterinary Clinic and a combination of Leadstone in Melrose. So Steve from Freeport Vet helped me design the tubes, and Leadstone helped me design the panel fans and the size and the cubic air that I needed to exit the building during summer months.
Okay, and then how did you determine the ventilation based on the size of a pen, on the pen?
That's above my pay grade. That was Freeport and Leadstone figured out. I think they do is a cubic feet, the cubic feet of air in the building and how many times you want it to exit or exchange the air, right? I don't know. I know in my nursery, and I'll show you that in a little bit, I think it's every 11 minutes in the winter time, I have exchange of air. So it's kind of expensive to heat it, but if you don't exchange that air enough, nothing is healthy. So, okay.
Okay. Another question is, can you talk through the funding agencies you used for building your barn and systems? So any sort of like grants or financial stuff, if you'd be willing to share.
I just got a loan through Compeer. Or it was Egg Star at that point, but yeah, I didn't apply or receive any grants.
Okay. And then do you have a vaccination program for your goats?
Yes, but I'm not the best at following it. So so with ultrasounding, I don't do anything because I don't want to stress them out because we're doing pregnancy. So I have a guy that comes in, that's it, 2 guys. They come in every 4 months and hoof trim. So like 2 or 3 weeks ago, all the boars in the back got hoof trimmed. So at that point, I did CD&T. That's the only vaccination I do. I not even 100% sure. I was told if I need it or not, but he said if you don't do it and you wish you would have, expensive with death loss. So then I do it. So it's not crazy expensive. Let's see, vaccinate, yeah, and then worming. I am constantly monitoring that. I do some through the feed and TMRs, and I also have done some through the waters. My last feeding last night, I fed 700 pounds a day of pumpkins for 6 days. And within a week or two, their coats look better, they're healthier. I don't know what's in them, if it's just a vitamin overload or whatever it is, but it just, to me, it seems to make a world of difference. So never really got any facts on it, but I like it, so I do it. Any other questions?
I've also heard that about pumpkins. So everybody probably has extra pumpkins right now they can feed to their goats.
Yeah, I mean, I just throw them in the TMR. I don't know if you can find a piece. They usually eat almost everything. It makes the TMR a little wetter than I like, but it works very well. I don't know. They fight over them. If there's a big chunk that comes through the size of a baseball, they will fight for it.
So in regards to your TMR ration, do you work
Yep.
with a nutritionist, or who helps you put your ration together?
It's Travis from Ecker Feed in Munich, Minnesota, and Big Gain. Glenn Pettis is another guy that helped me out a lot. He's from Big Gain. Travis is very, very good. I'd highly recommend him. And no matter where you are, get a nutritionist and figure it out, because if you don't, it's going to cost you money and wasted feed, or you're not going to meet your higher standard of production. This summer, between Glenn and I and Travis and Big Gain, we did a study. We took, when I weaned, I don't remember when it was. Travis, if Travis is on, he has all the information. I don't know if you want him to talk or not, but we took 60 goats, put them in 3 pens, put them as equal as possible. And then we fed a 16 and I think it was a 17 or 18% and a 20% protein. And then we weighed them all. We did birth dates on all of them. Then we got them up to I think it was like a 67 or 68 pound. Then we weighed them all again and made a data sheet on what was the best protein, best rate of gain, feed conversion, all that. So I don't know, you mind if Travis talks on that a little bit or not, if he's on?
What was Travis's last name again?
Molitor.
Oh, yep, he's on.
Yeah.
All right.
He probably has the data on hand.
Okay, I have made him a co-host. So Travis, if you have anything to share, go ahead. If he wants. We do have a couple.
Okay, go ahead. But anyway, for us, the 16% was actually the best, if I remember right, for the rate of gains. We had some issues with urinary calculi and the higher percent proteins. And I don't know if it was because the ammonium chloride wasn't high enough or if it was the highest protein. But
Hey, Brenda, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So I can post the sheet with the results, but the trial basically was 16%, 70%, 20% proteins, and we were looking to learn our feed conversions, our cost per pound of gain, and average daily gains in this study. And it kind of surprised us, which one actually did the best. I think cost made the high prices made the cost per pound of gain of the lower protein one better. But yeah, if we have a way that I could share that, I would love to put that up or send the file or whatever so people can see that too. Because I thought it was an interesting thing and we learned a lot. So
Travis, you should be able to, if it's like a file, you should be able to share it in the chat box. Otherwise, you can send it to me and I can send it out
Okay,
when we send our follow-up email.
that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, Noah, we have a couple more questions here.
Okay.
How do you determine when you need to deworm?
Everybody says fecal samples. You know, you watch Facebook, and sometimes Facebook is great, sometimes it's not. I send in fecals to see what kind of worm or how I should worm, but I watch the body condition of the animals. I mean, I'm feeding a pretty good ration, so they're fairly healthy. And all of a sudden you see a couple of them start looking a little perky, or not perky, but looking a little like their coats aren't as nice, or they're looking a little rough. And I'm like, okay. So I wait till that one goes to the bathroom or whatever, or poops. And then I grab that sample and bring it into the vet. And then we go from there.
Got it. Okay, can you tell us more about your mineral program? Do you have a pre-breeding mineral to help with cycling?
I can go out here. So I feed the TMR. So I put in the meadow hay, I mix that up. I have a ration. So we test all the corn or the silage and the hay, and then I feed meadow hay, so it's really low protein. So then we have a bin there that I put in. I think right now it's 10 pounds. It's a soybean mineral. I don't know, Travis knows everything that's in it. Sodium bicarb is a big thing for fermented feeds. We learned that the hard way. Rumensin's in there. Yeah, that's, so I just work my niche there.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Is your TMR a typical TMR? Well, you feed with the grain cart. We seen your tractor there. So
Yep. It's just it's a Penta 3000 single auger. I wish it was bigger. I had to put rubber around the outside because when you put a full bale in it, it flips it out every now and then. So, but like, yeah, it's just a normal TMR.
how long does it take you to feed them?
In the morning, I come up, push feed, and do all my chores in about a half hour. At night, with mixing feed, is probably, depends if I putz around or if we have kids, more than an hour and a half to 3 hours.
Okay.
Feeding is minutes. I can do it. Like this morning, I fed 2 carts in probably 20 minutes or less.
Okay. Are your barns 100% confinement without pasture rotation?
Yes, I have lots outside. They're 32 by 40, so pretty much double whatever's inside here. Outside, that's it. I could walk out the outside here. It's just gates. I do absolutely no grazing. Part of the mess, we got a bunch of rain the other day, so it finally started raining. But here, I don't know, can you see?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
This is my pump house well room. It's under construction, so it's kind of a mess, but there's my medicating system. I just turn it on when I need to add. I mix my premix in there and it puts in the right dosage and it works very well. Is there any more questions?
Yep, there is. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are your goats crosses, or do you run a herd of boar and a herd of Spanish, like 2 different?
The Spanish are certified 100% gold Spanish. I don't know if I'm gonna, I bred them with 100% Spanish bucks, so all the kids right now are 100%, but I'm gonna start doing some crosses to see what I can maybe get my rate of gain up a little bit more. I heard Savannahs work really good with the Spanish. Boars also. I personally don't like Savannahs. Just, I don't know if it's the confinement or the feed. They just don't do as good as I'd like to see. But every situation is different. I know a lot of people that have great Savannahs and they work very good. It's not my personal preference. So.
Sure. Okay. What kind of record keeping system do you use for your animals?
It's a mess. I bought it's from Sherwell. It's like you can wand them, a wanding system. The problem is you can't read them. Like, I don't know if you can see, that one has one on there. It's a little orange tag. You can't, I mean, you can read the number, but you got to catch them, right? And then, or you can wand them, which you have to get within a foot or two. And mine are not like pets, so they're not like tame. You know, you go in, right now they'll stand here, but I go in the pen, I can't get close to them, right? So then I started doing a tag system where I showed you before, like, I'll put red tags in ones that are cuddles. Orange tags are ones that they're getting bred and they're due in February. So, and then I just remove the tags if I want to, or put another one in. So you can see all these here have tags in. You know, there's an orange and a blue and a blue. That way I can visually see them better. And it sounds kind of stupid, but you know, there's 700 animals in here and I almost know everyone. Some of the Spanish are hard because a lot of them look alike, but the boars, also I'll look at one, I recognize. It takes some time, but you get to know them also.
Okay. When your does kid, do you put them in separate pens, or are they all just kind of in one big pen? They kid here, they stay here. I don't move them. Only time I move the does into another barn is when it's too cold to kid in here. Then I'll put them into my nursery. Okay.
So,
oh, go ahead.
No, there was one I was trying to find it. She was born this morning. I don't know where she is. If I find it, go ahead. You can keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. When your babies are weaned, do they get fed a TMR ration at that time?
No, I think it's a custom pellet. I got to talk to Travis on that. He can probably let me know. But I feed a pellet feed. I'll go show you that barn in a little bit here. But you can see there's babies laying all over. Like that little white one right there. Can you see it?
Yep.
When I did chores at 5 this morning, she was still wet.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Do most of your does have twins, or what is your rates on?
Yeah, it all depends. I noticed now, so like all these here, they had babies this spring, which I have a couple left, but most of them are gone to market or to breeding. I've noticed now there's a couple more singles when you do it 2 times in 1 year, and I'm sure that's because I'm pushing them maybe a little too hard. But for the most part, like that one had twins. They're about 2 days old. And she's a small little doe. So, but her kids look good. So, and I would say she had twins in the end of April, and then she had twins here, I would say beginning of this week. So she had 4 kids in 6 months. So that's pretty good.
So when you're marketing your goats, like the ones that you're sending to slaughter,
Yep.
At what age and what weight are you sending those, and where do you go with them?
I send them to a guy down by Rochester, and I send them at about 60. I think his design weight is like 62 to 64 pounds. He wants them. So I have a scale that I run them through, and if they're over 60 pounds, they go on the trailer.
Okay, now back to your does. What is how long do your does usually stick around? Like, what is their average lifespan?
I haven't been in it long enough to answer that. Usually what I've noticed is their bags will blow out and their bags will be too low for the kids to nurse, and then they're gone. That's probably my biggest downfall of the boars. I think their bag structure is just, I don't know if I don't know. It's just my opinion. Maybe it's the breed or the herd I got from. I don't know. But the Spanish, I've never had any trouble with mastitis or bad bags or anything. So I would say if I'm kidding 3 times every 2 years, I would say 6 years, 5-6 years, somewhere around there. Guessing.
Okay. When you're marketing your kids, that's on live weight, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we have a few more questions here.
Yep.
We're probably not going to get to all of them. We're running out of time, but
Okay.
when you okay, so you have a ration that is a percentage of dry matter. Is there a good book on this or a person to send the results? I guess that would be Travis, correct? Your nutritionist.
Yes,
to them.
Travis is a guy. Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk up to where the weanlings are. That way
Okay.
you guys can kind of see that barn too.
Okay.
Okay.
In that barn that you just left, about how many goats do you have in there? You said
Just over,
700. But...
yeah, just over 700 right now. Well, with the kids, it's probably over 800.
Okay. Oh, this is probably a question for Travis. Can goats utilize some non-protein nitrogen in the ration like urea?
I answered that one in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, my.
You could definitely use it. It's recommended after they're at least 65 pounds. The only problem is there's no amino acids in urea and there is in soy. So that's why we like using soy at NOAA's instead of urea.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So this is my Weedling pen. I just have Travis fill the bin up and I got a flexible auger full of hog things and I just turn it on and fill it up. Real simple. Fill it up. Like now it's once a week or so, but like this summer I had like 350 in this pen and I was filling it up every day.
Do you get a fluctuating market weight price for those kids?
Yeah, it changes. The best I ever did was like 440 or 437 a pound. That was last spring. And I just sold a load a month ago or 2 months ago maybe, and I got 310 or 315, something like that, a pound live weight. So I think they're going up already. It has. I haven't talked to the guy in a while.
How many did you say fit in that barn that you were just in with your weanlings?
I had 350 kids in there this summer.
Holy moly.
Well, I have. So a lot of people come here and they'll buy, I'll take out a lot of 100 does or 50 does and they buy them. And then, or they pick out the ones they want. And then, so then whatever they don't take, I send to market. I think I did over 400 since like March of last year or 8 months ago or whatever. So this is my nursery. It's an old chicken barn that I spray foamed. And it's kind of a mess because we just cleaned it all out from the study from the kids. We had the kids that we did that protein study. And then it's individual, it's pens. They're 10 by 10 and I put a couple of those in each one. And then I got a heater on that end, got fans on this end, and I suck the air out for ventilation. Again, them fans were designed for this barn. So it can suck out so many cubic feet an hour a day. I don't know how they process all the information and then go from there. This is my scale. I just bought a cheaper scale head and then the platform's down in there, and I made my own box and I don't know if you can see it. You open it up, they come in, scale it, do whatever we got to do, and then they run out the other side. So, okay.
All right. No, I have one more question for you, and then we're going to have to move on to Laura.
Okay.
But what is your break-even point when you're marketing? You have that all figured out, or it's a moving target?
Well, yeah, because so last year's hay, so I'm still feeding. You can see my A bags. I don't know if you can see it. It's a mess out there, but so I'm still feeding last year's hay and last year's silage. So I think my break even point was like 212 or 220, something like that a pound for the kids. That's all my feed costs, vet costs, building costs, operating costs, everything. This year it's going to be quite a bit because hay is through the roof and silage is almost double. So last year I paid, I think, $32 a ton delivered silage. This year, some was 55 and some was almost 70. So I haven't run the numbers yet to what break even this year will be, but it'll definitely be up. I bet it'll be close to $3.
Wow. Well, thank you, Noah. We certainly appreciate all of your knowledge and taking us on a tour of your farm. For everybody who's listening, Noah said that he would be on to listen to the rest of the presentation. So I know we didn't get to quite everybody's questions, so maybe he can go back and answer some of those in the chat box. So,
Oh boy. Okay, before you hang up, where do I go to the chat box? I don't know this stuff.
There should be a little button, I think, on the bottom of your screen. You can
Okay.
You can probably shut your video off, and that you should be able to find one down there that the chat box is in. It should be a little kind of a circle.
Okay.
But
I'll figure it out. All right. Thank you. See you
yeah,
later.
thanks, Noah.